What's up?
Happy
Happy 4th of
Treason Day.
July.
Happy Treason
Happy
Day.
Treason Day. So I'm getting a little message here that we're having trouble freaking streaming to Facebook, so that's fucking great.
Already? Oh, dude, Facebook is doing some crazy stuff, man.
Yeah.
Like Malachias, like
What?
his 10 songs are under another artist, and it's not him. And like I don't know what's going on. Like there's something in social media that is not working.
Yeah. Well, it
Sorry.
pisses me off because most of our freaking watchers watch
Or
us on
Facebook.
Facebook, but we're on YouTube and LinkedIn and everything else. But man, that pisses me off. I'm looking at the message right now.
Breathe
Damn
in,
it.
man. Breathe in. Just like you told me,
Fucking,
like
that
30
is
minutes
true.
ago.
Yes,
It'll
sir.
work itself out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. So, anyways, I would
Hey,
prefer
Commander
everybody to
Fleek, how
watch.
you doing?
Be honest with you, I prefer everybody to watch YouTube anyway. So, like and share if you're looking, like and share. I'm doing great. How's it going? 4th of July. Not only is it 4th of July, this is our 1-year anniversary.
Big deal.
Woo!
Congratulations, fellas.
That is amazing, man.
It's
Like I
felt
never
so much longer.
it does. And I have no idea how the hell we got here. When we first
It's
started a
all
year
you, dude.
ago,
Not me. It's
man,
you. It's all you.
no, it's a little bit everybody. I cannot take the credit for this. So when we first started, we started in my house and the little table over there. Me and Andrew would bring in a guest and we would just do audio. And since then, within a year, we went from audio. We brought it out to YouTube, Twitter, LinkedIn, all the major social media networks. And we're in
9
like what,
countries.
9 countries.
Yeah.
Mozambique, believe it or not. Like
Hello,
people,
Mozambique.
That's
people
awesome.
How
are
are you?
people are watching everywhere. So, and the most important thing is people would Facebook message me and say like, "Oh my God, that is amazing! Thank you for that message. I was in Iraq at that time. That guy's story was amazing." And I was like, "Oh my God, it's working!" You know, our mission is to save lives and to get veterans on this show, put their stories out, and they tell their heart and soul, put their heart and soul out. And if we could save one life, how amazing would that be?
Be amazing.
Yeah,
And we do.
uh,
We've been
yeah,
saving
yeah.
lives. You
It's
you just
crazy.
said it yourself earlier today.
Yeah, it's awesome. So I
But
love what we do.
are we gonna
First
run his
sergeant.
promo, Commander
So
Fleek? Are we gonna run the Proven Valor thing
let's do it.
for our
Let's
sponsor because we love
proven
them so
better is
much?
our. So we have Patreon membership, and we have that's growing and growing and growing. But our major sponsorship is Proven Valor, which is COO Aubrey
Aubrey
Wrenn
Wrenn.
sitting right here with us.
You can
So
see him below. He's that
yeah,
one. He's that guy down there.
so he's below, but to be honest with you, he should be above. He should be above
He
us because
should be up there.
he's
Well,
a
he
first
is in
sergeant.
rank. I mean, he's like
Hey,
Hey,
it's your show, man. It's
hey,
I'm a guest. There's a reason why I am where
yeah,
I'm at.
we're
I
shit.
first sergeant.
So
Just kidding.
put this in perspective. Aubrey is a E8.
First
When I
sergeant.
got
In
out of
the
the Navy, I was an E3. I
dude,
did
I got
three.
out as a Marine Corps E4. All right,
I
I'm
did
like on scum compared to him.
I did 3 years active duty. I got out as an E3. Aubrey is an E8, so that is light years ahead of
I
whatever
got
I.
NJP'd by First Sergeant Aubrey's rank. Right,
That's because you got drunk.
I did
But
in
not me.
Iraq.
Just to clear it up, I did not do your
NJPU,
NJP.
yeah.
You NJP'd me. Why? I'm
Somebody
gonna
like
find
you.
you in Virginia. Hey, but it doesn't matter because I still got a good cookie out of it. Because I did it my first year.
Yes.
First Sergeant Guzman, wherever you are, Sergeant Major Guzman, I'm sorry. I'm sorry you had to write paperwork on me, sir.
All right. So now a message from our sponsor. Hey, Proven Valor is a bunch of solid dudes, and they were on our show highlighted last weekend.
Yep.
So hop on over to last weekend. I'm sure you already saw it, but
Hey,
they're a bunch of solid dudes.
who's Staff Sergeant G?
That's
I have no idea.
that's Staff Sergeant Gilliard. He's one of my Marines.
Okay, I
from
have
way
no
back in the
idea
day.
what those emojis are, but there's there's six
He's
of
like,
them.
hey,
Oh, is that what that is? Okay.
yep. He's giving me praise. Giving me praise.
Oh,
He's supporting.
oh,
Yeah, I
right
know.
on.
I just was like, I've never seen that emoji before. I was like,
Yeah.
what the fuck is
Yeah,
that?
right on. Yeah, I love it. It's awesome. So before we get started, I just want to give my little spiel. Myself and Andrew, we started TSP exactly 1 year ago. Today was our first episode. I came to Andrew, and me and Andrew, we've done some stellar things over the last 24 months.
We have.
We started TSP. I asked him, "Hey, Andrew, I have this vision. I want to start a podcast, and I want to sit down and I want to catalog of veterans' stories." And he was like, "Yeah, that's a great idea, man. But where's this coming from?"
Totally on
And
board.
ever since I was a little kid, so both my grandfathers, they're both combat veterans. One was in the Navy, one was in the Army. Old Hickory, 30th Division, right there. So as much as I love the Army, let me back up. As much as I love the Navy,
it just sounds so weird coming out of your mouth.
Yeah,
like Army.
I have
Just
zero Navy tattoos. I have an Army tattoo, and I give all my Army friends all kinds of shit in December for the Army Navy game.
Yep.
I love, and like I guarantee you, you will never meet somebody that loves the Navy as much as I do.
He does.
Out of respect for my grandfather, who's a Purple Heart recipient, he fought Hitler's SS division not once but twice. Out of respect for my grandfather, I do not even have a Navy tattoo on myself, but I have his logo on me, his emblem on me, and it means the world to me. I love, since I was a little kid, I would, hey, Grandpa, what happened in the World War II? And like every single time I would start talking to him, he would break down and cry. And my grandfather is he's passed away now, strongest man I've ever met in my life. Lived off the land, shot his first deer when he was 6 years old, hunted, fished, just literally lived off the land. Strongest person I've ever met in my life. Every time I talked to him about the war or what he did in the Army, he would break down and cry. I'm like, what the fuck did my grandfather see 80 years ago to make him break down and cry? And so that built like a fire in my gut every time. And then I became a veteran myself. And then every time I traveled or went somewhere, I always went to an American Legion VFW. I would look it up. Where's the American Legion VFW? And I'd find the old man at the bar, I'd sit down next to him, get a beer. Hey, so what's your story? And I would talk to him. And I'm just like, Jesus Christ, this is fucking amazing, man. Like, I need to get these stories. I need to get them documented. The world needs to hear these stories. This is crazy. I've talked to a guy that shot the locks off of Auschwitz. I sat there and talked to him myself. The world needs to hear these stories. That's where TSP comes from. That's where my drive is. I started this a year ago with Andrew. We get private messages of people that have been to Iraq, Afghanistan, all over the place saying, thank you. I needed to hear that. I'm in a dark place right now. There's no reason for you to be in a dark place. The government sent you there. They told you to do something. You did what you were told. And I feel for these guys. And I will not rest until we get everybody's stories out there. And I feel that.
Amen.
And since we started the podcast, I started a nonprofit, and I dropped a bomb on Aubrey today, asked him to be my VP on the nonprofit. He agreed. What the mission of the nonprofit is, and And I know there's other companies that do this, like BetTix. BetTix is a great organization. I've been with them for years. You can get tickets from them, and they charge you $15 for up to 4 tickets. But there's been plenty of times where they're like, here's tickets, but I can't go because if you give me free tickets, I still have to pay for parking, I have to pay for dinner. It's still $100, $250 night. I can't do that. It's still a stress on me. Even free tickets are a stress on people sometimes. The goal for Minutes Wisely, which is the nonprofit that operates under my 2 podcasts, the goal for Minutes Wisely is I'm going to pick a veteran, somebody, not just in Middle Tennessee. It could be in Detroit, my hometown. It could be in Chicago, Chief Petty Officer Freeman's hometown. It could be in Charlotte, North Carolina, where Aubrey's at.
Florida or Jacksonville or wherever.
Wherever.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, if I know of somebody that's struggling, we will pay for your tickets. Not only will we pay for your tickets, we're going to pay for your parking. We'll pay for your dinner, and we're going to not just send you there. We're going to send a mentor with you, whether it be me, whether it be Andrew, whether it be Audrey. We're going to send a mentor with you, sit there and talk with you during the event.
Okay, I want a per diem for that, sir.
Well,
I want gas. Just kidding.
And I feel like we're going to change the world here, man. Like
we are going to change the world.
I feel in my gut that this is a great thing. We're going to change the world, and we're going to set the world on fire with this.
We are.
It's going to be great, man. I'm excited.
Yeah.
Now, who's this first sergeant that we have on today?
Well,
who is this guy?
And here we are. Our
and here
1-year anniversary. It's 4th of July, America's birthday, and we're sitting here with none other than First Sergeant Aubrey Wrenn. How you doing, buddy?
I'm good, guys. It's a pleasure to be here. It's an honor, a privilege.
Yes, sir. We appreciate you being here, and we appreciate your service.
Thank you for your support. I appreciate that.
How many years in the Marine Corps do you have?
Just over 21 and a half. So, yeah.
That's amazing.
Almost 22 by the time I retire this year.
That's a lot of Marine
22
Corps
by the
years
time you retire.
Yeah.
And how many combat deployments do you have?
3.
3. That's amazing. So I would say
combat action weapon, First Sergeant?
Yeah.
Yes.
Just checking. For when I put you in the VFW, I gotta click all the boxes. So
yeah, that's all right.
Chaps is always recruiting.
I'm trying, dude. Hey, listen, I've got like 12, like ready to go in. I'm just waiting.
You have over 100.
No. I have 12 right now. I'm gonna have over 100 this year, and then, well, I'll talk to you about that later. But
so,
okay. Sorry.
First Sergeant Wrenn is definitely in the 1% of America. He stepped up when his country called, and now we're here. We're all for you, Aubrey.
Yeah.
Awesome. Well, thanks, guys. I look forward to it. I'm sure it's going to be a good time. We'll probably go some places and tell some stories, and hopefully by the end of this, you and everyone viewing can have a little bit better clarity and perspective on kind of my story and kind of how I got to where I'm at now.
Oh yeah. So when you joined the Marine Corps, how old were you when you joined?
So I joined when I was 19. So that's unlike anything else in my life. That was an interesting story. So I was in the DEP, which is the late entry program, for over a year.
Yep.
So what happened is I originally, we'll back up a little bit. Why the Marine Corps, right? A lot of people want to know, well, out of all the branches, and it'll tie into this, I promise. So a long time ago, when I was really small, my mom dated a Marine, and his name was Terry Kearns, right? I've looked him up, tried to find him. I don't know where he's at, but anyways, he set some sort of mark and that imprinted on her. And all I used to hear when I was a kid, like, Terry Kearns, he's like the greatest things in sliced bread, always respectable. He treated us like, we were his family. He was always really nice. That didn't work out. It's whatever. But she kind of always put the Marine Corps on a pedestal to me. And I always that started the way I looked at the Marine Corps, was like, okay, well, they're the best. They're the most hard, the most difficult to get into. So that was the challenge. And then looking at it, I was like, all right, well, I started having kids when I was 16 and I had 2 by the time I was 18.
Wow.
By the time I was 17, I had my own house. I was working full time and going to school full time, which ended up dropping out of school my junior year. But I always knew that if I could manage to graduate or get a GED and just get into the Marine Corps, that I wouldn't have to worry about a lot of the things that I was dealing with at the time, which was, couch hopping or not having things to eat, or, not knowing, my kids would be taken care of. I would be taken care of. Like, it would be a done deal. Right. And that's because it was, pre 9/11. There's no war going on at the time. I wanted to be a Marine. I wanted to give my kids the best life that I could possibly give them. So that was the thought. And then I enlisted and ended up not getting my diploma, not getting my GED when I was supposed to. And I ended up going down to Myrtle Beach, and I was living there with a buddy named Nick Hall. Hopefully he's watching this. And I helped him and his mom move from Lynchburg, Virginia, down to Myrtle Beach. I drove the U-Haul for him. And my recruiter calls me out of nowhere. He's like, "Hey, what are you doing?" I'm like, "How'd you get this number?"
Yeah.
He's like, "Your mom gave it to me." I was like,
Oh,
"Seriously?"
man.
Okay. He's like, "Hey, you're supposed to ship next month." I'm like, "That's not happening. Like, I haven't graduated. I don't have my GED." And he's like, "Well, we need to get you back here so we can get you back on track." And it got me thinking. I was like, "Yeah, you know what? He's right. I need to quit messing around." So then that took about a year and 3 months. And I finally, got my GED in December of 2000, walked to the recruiter's office because that's how life was at the time. And I was like, "Hey, here it is." And he's like, "When do you want to leave?" And I said, "Yesterday." And he's like, "Okay, how's January 1st?" And I said, "Tight. I'll see you then."
It's tight.
So that's how it worked out. And I don't remember much of the trip to Parris Island because it was New Year's Eve / New Year's Day. So, but I remember when I got there very vividly. So that's kind of my story of how I got, how I got into the Marine Corps.
So, how many boot camps does the Marine Corps have? 2?
2, yeah.
So it's Parris Island and Hollywood Marines. Where's the Hollywood Marines?
San Diego.
San Diego. MCRD San Diego.
Yeah.
Hollywood
I know
Marines.
every time we have a Hollywood Marine on here, Chaps gives them shit.
I do. Actually, I talked to a Hollywood Marine today from the Vietnam era. And I'm like, he was living in Quadza huts. Like he was bringing out all of the punches. And just basically, I'm like, "Shit, I am a boot to you. And I'm sorry. I'm sorry, sir." But he's this old, salty Vietnam vet. I was like, "Oh, God."
What? So I don't get it. Do the San Diego Marines have it easier than y'all?
That's a loaded question.
It is. First on, go ahead and answer that first on.
So I'll tell you, there are different in my opinion, right? I'm going to preface this with, this is my opinion, right? There are different challenges that come with each place. Having been to MCRD San Diego recently within the last 2 years, and then knowing what my experience in walking around Parris Island is like, I will tell you that recruit training is not the same on either coast, in my opinion. So Parris Island, if you went to Marine Corps recruit training at Parris Island, South Carolina,
I did.
You definitely got the more intense end of the spectrum. But when MCT or ITB comes into play, if you went to Camp Pendleton for that, God bless you, because
you're right.
The mountains are like that.
Yep.
Like the elevation is like,
dude, you're right. Hey, first on, you're right about that. Camp Geiger, I mean, SOI East,
flat.
It's nothing like SOI West. Nothing like it.
So there are challenges with both.
So when you got your EGA, did you cry?
Yes.
I did. So did I. We have so much in common.
Trust me. I mean, it was because you got to, like, I know a lot of people do and some people don't, right? But you got to understand, like, my reason and purpose for being there, I feel like, was probably a little bit more intense because I had 2 other lives that were depending on me, right? To make it through that, and to make sure that they were taken care of. So it wasn't just about, hey, I'm a Marine now. No, it was a lot more that went into that. So absolutely. Yeah, it was huge. It was
Yeah.
probably one of the greatest accomplishments of my life.
Yeah, that's
Mine
awesome.
too.
So I watched a lot of YouTube videos, and it just so happens one popped up, and they were kind of highlighted the Crucible.
Crucible.
Was it like
Crucible.
Was it called Crucible?
It's called Crucible, not.
Crucible.
It's not
Crucible?
Italian. It's Crucible.
Hey, well, I'm
Not
a sailor, man. Crucible?
It's not the CI. Is not a CH in the Italian. It's Crucible.
Crucible.
3 days, 1 MRE.
Well, yeah.
It sucks.
Yeah. So it's like what 56 hours straight, something like that. And you get 1 MRE.
I did. I only got 1 MRE for
like
mine.
3 hours of sleep the entire time.
And sunflower seeds. I ate a lot of sunflower seeds. What about you, First Sergeant?
I don't remember any of that. It was like a bad dream.
It was a bad dream.
I remember a lot of very hard things that we had to get done, and it rained the night of our night hike.
Oh,
that was awesome. Yeah,
we had a hurricane coming back to Warriors Breakfast.
That's interesting. The YouTube documentary said like if it rains, the Anthem Alex like 100 times worse.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah,
but of course it rained for you guys.
If it ain't raining, we ain't training.
Right. Hey, it was March. You know what's going to happen in March, so.
Yeah, but I was watching this and I was like, how is this even possible, man? Like I got hazed like crazy when I went over the equator, man. But like what you guys went through is like nothing compared to that.
Every day.
That's crazy.
Especially in the gear locker for me. I got the shit kicked out of me. Sorry. I did. Hey, First Sergeant, they punched me in the face, so I couldn't have my pictures. So they had to wait 3 weeks later for me to take my pictures because I had a black eye. And you can still see it in my yearbook picture. I swear.
That's unfortunate, and I don't know how that ever happened, but I'm sure.
You mouth off. Hey, it's all a mind game. You probably shouldn't say that to a drill instructor. It's all a mind game.
Yeah, I don't know.
It's probably a good idea.
No.
Get your scuzz towel. Come on, guys, let's go.
Yeah.
So
what year did you go to boot camp?
2004, summertime.
And what company were you in?
I was 2081 Fox Company.
Who are your drill instructors?
Okay. Sergeant Isaac Fitzgerald. He was a Facebook friend of mine.
I have no idea how he remembers this shit.
Sergeant Levy, and he is now actually, I saw him 3 years ago, and it was Sergeant Major Levy. Oh, yeah. He was my kill hat. Mm-hmm. I mean, he was so cool because my dad died. And this isn't the cool part, but my father passed away in the middle of boot camp. And Sergeant Major Levy was the first person to actually talk to me like a human being. And he took me to the Savannah airport so I could go to my dad's funeral. But he's like, and then he picked me up and he's like, Far, once we get out these doors, it's got to go back to, me being the drill instructor and you being the recruit. I was like, all right, good to go. But he was the 15th Muse. Sorry. Oh my. Yeah, of course he knows him. Yeah. CJ, you tell Sergeant Major Levy I say hi. Shit. I'm gonna get a phone call for that one.
You're gonna get another punch in the face.
I'm gonna get punched in the face for that. Damn.
Well, I not to just like I remember all my drill instructors too, so that's why I asked because a lot of my friends were down there at the time.
I can't remember my senior's name. I've been trying for like 2 weeks to think of his name, and I just can't remember it. But I remember my drill hat and my kill hat. Texted him this morning. Oh, awesome. So CJ, you're good friends with the Sergeant Major. Good to go.
He is. Yeah, he was. He's good friends with all my drill instructors, and he's the 26 Muse Sergeant Major.
CJ, don't Blue Falcon me, man. Don't do it. Don't Blue Falcon me, man. I know you want to, but don't do it, please.
He would do that. He would.
He would.
Well, he might. I don't know. Now listen, you're on your own when it comes to that. Like, hey, it's. I had phenomenal drill instructors. They all. I've talked to all of them except for one since recruit training. So
after your 13 weeks of training, we'll call it that. Where'd you go after that?
I went to MCT, Camp Geiger, North Carolina. Yep. I remember the company and all that. Like a lot of people don't remember, but I remember it was an India company. And why do I remember that? Because I went back as a combat instructor.
Thanks,
and
CJ.
went to India
it, sir.
company. Yeah, see, he'll look out.
Yeah.
So yeah, I went to MCT, and then after that, I went to Lawton, Oklahoma, Fort Sill, where I got schooled up to be an 0811 field artillery cannoneer.
Okay. Fort Sill. Hey, do you remember the bank card or the bank they gave you when you were in boot camp?
FSMB, Fort Sill
Yeah,
National
me too.
Bank.
That's what I got. That's a horrible bank. I owed them $300 coming out of boot camp. I was like, how is that possible?
Who knows? I did what my drill sergeants told me, and I went straight to Navy Fed on Family Day. And
it took me about 2 years to do that.
Yeah.
I should have listened. Damn it.
Shame.
Yeah. So tell us some fleet stories first, Arndt.
So after I graduated from Fort Sill, I was a cannoneer. My first place that I stopped was Fox Battery, 2nd Battalion, 10th Marines. Very interesting times. Again, it was pre 9/11, so a lot of the Marines and the NCOs that I had there, done a lot of training, and nothing that was due to happen was in anybody's wildest ideas, right? I remember that the first sergeant that I met when I got to the fleet, his name's Sergeant Wilson, and then shortly thereafter was a Corporal Smith, who I think he's a Mass Sergeant now, Stormy, and I'm Facebook friends with him. He was one of them, and then Juan Nino was a corporal who lived next door to me, one of my roommates. Glenn Four, another guy. We were roommates forever and a day. But that's where I cut my teeth. That's where I learned, my very first field op. I got trained. Patrick Malusian, I think he just retired as a Master Guns. He was my very first section chief when he was a sergeant. Phenomenal crew. Learned so much, not just about my trade, but about leadership. He was the epitome of a quiet professional. He was about 5'5", 5'6", Irish from Texas, and man, full of fire. But we knew that he wanted us to perform because that's just kind of what we were, brought up in that era where like you had to perform. And if you didn't perform, then there were consequences, not just for you, but for your entire section, because that was that whole team, mindset, because especially on the howitzer section, I mean, there's like 8 of you. So, if one person's not carrying their weight, definitely somebody else has to pick up the slack. And at the time we had the M198 howitzers, 16,000 pounds. It is a behemoth of a gun. The projectiles are about 100 pounds a piece. Damn. That's average, right? So a lot of heavy lifting. When I mean, like, you have to carry your weight, you definitely have to carry your weight. So, but yeah, a lot happened that first unit. And of course, that's where I got my first deployment to. 9/11 happened. We deployed on the 24th MU. And we were out, went to a bunch of different countries before the invasion of Iraq, went to Kosovo, Djibouti, Africa. Where else did we go? We went a bunch of places. The entire time we were out there for almost 11 months. We only, stopped in a Libya port twice, and that was Bahrain on the way there and Bahrain on the way back. But it was great. We were about to hit the ditch, and they were like, hey, if we get the call to go in, because that's when the invasion happened in 2003. If we get the call before we hit the straits, we're going. If we don't, and we're not, we got the call. So we went into Iraq in March of 2003. And that was an interesting time too.
So I have a couple questions.
Okay.
Before we go forward. A MU. I know Andrew always talks about a MU. What is MU? Marine Expeditionary.
Yeah, Marine Expeditionary Unit.
That was on the 2-2. You were on 2-4 first sergeant? That
Yeah.
was on the 2-2. I was on the Kearsarge in 07.
I was on the Nassau.
Oh, yeah. I heard about that ship.
Yep.
And Djibouti, like every time I talk to a Marine, I always go to Djibouti. Is that like a Marine thing?
Well, it used to be back in the day, like back then. So in 03 time frame, there wasn't a lot there, right? Camp Lemonnier, which is now huge from what I hear. It was just some tents, some HESCO, and there were training areas out there that were identified by the units that were, they would go out and conduct training, right? Just stay ready. But now it's really huge. But its position and where it's located, it makes it suitable for MEUs to stop off and do training. So
I got you. So I know you say you were in Iraq. I know Chaps was in Iraq, but like he was in like, so this is gonna sound stupid, but like he was in like the shitty part of Iraq. If there's a good part of Iraq.
No,
like,
there's no. I was in a ship. Yes, the Ramadi
yeah,
is
you're
a shitty. Is a shithole.
Ramadi, and you're in
and-
Ramadi and Fallujah.
Karma. It was a little,
Karma.
little suburb of Fallujah, and it
Well-
was still pretty shitty.
Yeah, well, I hear bad things about Fallujah, and like it's like just like a bloodbath there. What
Well, you
was
were. Well, first on you did the. Were you there for Phantom Fury?
So the second Fallujah during the elections was actually my second deployment to Iraq.
So 2004 November, you were there.
Yeah.
Damn, 1-8 was there. Man, the Cowboys, you guys are like legends. Like
CJ was there for the first one, and I think he might have been there for the second one too.
like we looked up to you guys, like because we did a left seat, right seat with 1-8 in January of 2005, and they looked hard when they were giving us our left seat, right seat.
Yeah,
tell you that.
it's definitely some interesting changes in the atmosphere from the invasion as far as the local populace goes, and the reception that you would get doing a left seat, right seat, or coming in. So it definitely changed throughout the years. That's for sure.
Damn.
So what? Have you ever been to? Did you go to Afghanistan also?
Yeah. Interesting. CJ was my first sergeant when I went to Afghanistan.
Hoorah for Sergeant CJ.
Yeah. So yeah, I went to Afghanistan. What was that? I think it's 2009. So when Marja kicked off.
Oh boy, yeah, I've heard about
So
it.
that was, we got there, I believe, in November, and we were at a place in the Southern Helmand called Fob Payne, and we were there for quite a while, and then we pushed up north for Marja, shot for 3-6. So we were at a place called CLSA Bellawood, right outside of Marja, and we were supporting 3-6 and other units from there. And then after that, we went further north to a place called Fob Edinburgh or Fob Eddy. So 1-2 and my battery, Kilo Battery 310, we were taking over from the Brits. So the British were there, and we were doing left seat, right seat with them. So our howitzers flew in place, and 1st Battalion, 2nd Marines were doing left seat, right seat with them, and we were taking over their area of operations. That was probably the most, I would say that was probably one of the highlights, if not the highlight of my artillery, because we shot almost every single day. I mean, immediate suppression, you name it, immediate smoke, like it was almost every day. And our guys got worked, and we were doing a lot of good work up there.
When you're a cannoneer, so when you're doing that, do you guys have a like the mortar guys? Do you guys have an FDC, like
yes,
fire direction and control and all that kind of stuff?
Yeah, so we have FD, and typically, so when you're you have direct support, general support, but when you're co-located or in close proximity to another ground unit or an infantry unit, that's kind of your primary partner. That's who you're shooting for. And 1-2, they worked really closely with our fire direction control. And we actually sent people there to help them get all their stuff set up. And we had a pretty good system worked out to where, I think I only had 3 guns in Eddie because we did split batteries. So we had separate platoons, and each company in 1-2 had their own azimuth of fire. So they were operating in different areas. So we would, point the guns in one direction if we knew that this company was doing, whatever, and we would shift them over to another direction if this company was doing, but we could shift them at a moment's notice and to cover anybody that we needed to within a certain range. So, but it was definitely pretty kinetic.
I'm sorry, Commander Fleek. Was 3-8 over there like in 2009? Because you say Marja, and I remember I got out in 2008, and I know they were building up to go to Afghanistan, and maybe they went to Helmand, maybe they went to Marja. I don't know because I left, so I don't know if 3-8 was there. They weren't.
Not
there.
sure. I don't know if they were or not. I'm sure. I mean, everybody got a little bit, especially with Marja, because it took so long. I mean, I remember the day that Marja. It was February 13th, and I know that because that's my daughter's birthday. So,
wow.
Yeah.
So, in your opinion, what was worse, Iraq or Afghanistan?
Oh, wow. I would say, from my experience, Iraq was way worse.
Oh, man.
Yeah. And the reason why I say that is because there's a lot of intricacies that go into those two different countries. And it was all based on my experience, right? Anybody else who's been to either or, they may tell you something different. But from what I saw, and I went to Iraq twice, so I was like, okay, yep, I definitely hate it here. It was just a different feeling when you were dealing with the local nationals or with the people that were from that country. Completely different. And the terrain was way different. Iraq, it's either wide open or it's urban. Afghanistan, you've got mountains, you've got a lot of stuff that works into that too. So
Iraq was just really freaking hot, like all the time. Like sleeping, going to the bathroom, eating. It was just hot all the time. I remember being 127 degrees in July. And I remember taking a picture of the thermometer. I was like, and that's not even the hottest part of the year. I mean, it's
what was
August.
The temperature?
127.
Damn.
I actually saw snow in Iraq though.
Oh yeah, because it gets super cold in January. I remember that because that's when I got my first anthrax shot, and I got sick as hell. And my sergeant made me go on post, and I'm like, Sergeant, I'm sick as a dog. You're gonna make me do post? He's like, yep, yes I am.
I had been my first deployment, we went to Kosovo. We were like traipsing around the mountains, and it was cold and rainy and nasty. And I was like, this is probably the coldest I've ever been. When I was in Iraq, the winter of 2004, I was like, yep, this is definitely this is bad.
Dude, we just missed each other, man. Because when did you leave in 2004?
So I actually left spring of 2005.
Oh God! So because we flew in to Al Assad in January 2005, and then we took choppers over to Camp Fallujah, and then we took trucks to Camp Delta in Karma.
Yeah, freezing.
Yeah, it was cold. It was cold as hell. Did you get all your anthrax shots?
I got all that stuff, man. I couldn't even tell you. I got whatever they told me. Yep, I got it.
Yeah.
So
that deployment was the second one that Iraq was interesting because we didn't even bring howitzers. Like I was the squad leader. I had a squad of 12 Marines, and all I did was patrols, ECP, VCP, and then we had a watch rotation there at the COP.
That's Ramadi. That's all we did. We would do 12 days of post and patrols and come back to Camp Blue Diamond for like 3 days and then go back and we did that the whole deployment, all 6 months.
We had 8 hours on post, 8 hours on ECP, VCP at the Syrian border. We call it the West Gate. So it was the point of entry into Syria. And then 8 hours on React/patrol.
QR,
So that
QRF React, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
So before the weather changed, did the U.S. government like send in supplies like cold weather gear? Like how do they deal with that? Just like, okay, whatever, deal with it.
That's a funny question, sir.
Well,
That's
nowadays,
hilarious.
I mean, I don't know how they would do stuff like that, but I know for us it was like, hey, mom, whoever, send thick socks and
Seriously,
baby wipes. I need baby wipes.
I need you to
Bad.
send me hand warmers. And the USO would be like, hey, what do you want? It'd be like hand warmers, socks, sweatshirts,
oh my
like
God.
thermals, like Bass Pro Shop, like thermal underwear, like layers of it. Right.
Dude, Fleek, he ain't lying, man. That's the truth. Like, I remember, I'm sorry to cut you off first, Arm, but my first deployment, we didn't even get showers for the first month. Like no, seriously, we would patrol all the time, and my blouse would be so sweaty, like I could actually stand it up on its own because I was sweating so much. And we didn't have showers until like February of 2005. It was crazy. Thank you, Gunny Ball, God rest his soul, for getting us showers.
33 days sitting out there doing laundry in a powder canister, like a howitzer artillery powder canister, and an MRE box with a trash can, like taking trying to like, because they're like, you're not getting in the truck smelling like that. I don't know where you're sleeping tonight, but you better go out there and do something.
Go dig a hole.
That. Yeah, like, and you're burning those socks. You're not bringing them back over here, right? So, and that's where like all the like skivvy shirts, like people think it's cool not to wear. Like at one point, like we were on water rations, so it was like no haircuts. You shave every couple days. The only thing you could do was drink water, and we were down to 1 or 2 MREs a day. And so it was like, hey, like we're moving, we're trying to follow, the ground combat element and the other, Marines that we're actually supporting going up towards Baghdad. So it was like, okay. But we didn't, like, eventually you just ran out of skivvy shirts because it was like to his point, they either wouldn't smell any better no matter how many times you washed them, or they were just ripped and torn up, or you used them to clean your weapon or to clean the howitzer. And it was like, I'm out of skivvy shirts. Okay. You just didn't wear one.
But your face is shaved.
Oh, yeah.
That's the important thing. Your face is shaved.
Right.
They made us shave without water. It was, man, First Sergeant Guzman. Why would you make us do that?
I can see why everybody hates the Air Force now.
I'm just saying. Hate's a strong word. Hate's a strong word.
Indifferent.
Yeah, I shouldn't say hate. I shouldn't say hate. You're correct.
We're indifferent with
despise.
The Fly Boys. They get their margaritas and their air conditioning. And
now we'll say this: when we were in Afghanistan and we were at Fob Eddy, we always knew when we were not going to shoot that day because we would see A-10s loitering and be like, "Okay, this is cool." We're not going to shoot. Okay, that sucks. But we'd all go over to the berm because we knew somebody was in a tick, like with troops in contact. So, and you just hear them. I'm like, man, that's so cool. Like A-10's doing a gun run. There's no other sight in the world like it. I'm telling you, especially when you know they're actually shooting at, bad guys. So,
yeah. There's definitely some things that when I sit back, like I'm probably 35 or so years removed from the military. And, but I sit back and I reminisce of like a F-14 full afterburner sitting on a catapult. And then it launches off and like 3 seconds later, it's sucker's airborne. I'm just like, people don't understand this, man. This is the most majestic thing on the planet. Like, this is amazing. Everybody needs to see this, witness this with their own eyes. Like, I can't describe it.
Talk to your recruiter.
There's a lot of things that go into that people will see it on YouTube, but there are stuff like, and chaps can tell you, a lot of it is the smell, the sound, and the feeling of the concussion from whatever. So like,
Correct.
I hated my MOS, going through MOS school. I was like, this is horrible. This is the first time we actually shot live for the first time in Fort Sill, and I could smell the powder and I felt the concussion and I saw that howitzer, 16,000 pound gun of death, like launch a 100-pound projectile. I was like, this is awesome.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay, I could swing, I can do this. And then, you know, like I said, that Afghanistan deployment, like, I mean, we had guns shooting, you know, 15-minute immediate suppression, you know, 3 rounds each gun each minute for 15 minutes, like on cue, boom, boom. And we're just laying waste.
See, First Sergeant, he's got those big guns. I, as a machine gunner, you know, I mean, you know, going full auto, you know, with freaking the 240, the Mark, or the 50 cal, that was like the highlight of like my MOS.
So interesting, because when I was at Security Forces Training Company as instructor for 3 years from 05 to 08, and they implemented a crew serve weapon POI because they were having so many NDs out on the waterfront. So I went to machine gun leaders course.
You went to Hemlock?
Yeah, to write the curriculum.
Nice, man.
For security forces, so we could train the new O3s that went to security forces how to properly use the machine guns. And I'd always, I mean, artillery, like, so an artillery battery has more heavy crew serve weapons than an infantry company, like a weapons company. A lot of people don't know that. Facts. Like, I think we had something like 6 or 8 50s. We had 6 Mark 19s, something around 12 240s. And then we had all our, so you had to know crew serve, you had to do machine guns as well as the howitzers, because we do our own defense. Like, there is no infantry company assigned to an artillery battery for defense. We do our own defense, right? Yeah, pick them deep, right?
Pick them deep.
So that's, you know, I grew up, like, I got handed a howitzer TM, a Mark 19 TM, and an ammo TM my first day in the fleet. It was like, here, you will read these every time you have downtime, which means you're not cleaning the howitzer or cleaning your personal weapon. And when we went to the field, it was the same thing for my first 2 field ops.
So what is your dis and ass time for the 240 Golf, please?
Oh man, well, I haven't done a Golf in a while, but I've done a Bravo. I don't know, maybe it was like 2 minutes, doing some change in the last field op. So
minute 47.
I mean,
SOI East.
That was as a first sergeant, right? And I was like, all right, come here. You know, I know. I mean, I still kind of got it, but
no,
like,
no. In machine gun, what they teach us, you got to do 2 minutes or less, and you just made it, First Sergeant. Yeah. Oh my. Okay. Ooh, he failed me on my 240 PECL.
PECL, that's a performance evaluation checklist. So,
I roll. Very nice.
Yeah, yeah. So,
wait,
that's
is
my
your wife,
by the way?
Is your wife a Marine too?
Yeah, absolutely.
She is?
Yeah, oh yeah. She's a gunny. She teaches over at the
Hoorah, Gunny Wrenn.
Of course. So she actually failed her when she came through combat instructor school.
Oh.
On her 240.
I bet that was an interesting dinner conversation.
Well, we weren't married at we didn't get married till like years later. But I was like, okay, well, she forgot to do something. I think she didn't send her T&E. So I was like,
damn,
what else you got to do? Like,
CJ is harsh, man.
And she's like, no. CJ was also my first sergeant when I was at combat instructor school. So he's been on first sergeant twice, and he remembers getting all those instructors in, and it was like, okay, well, if you failed, you failed. That just means you get to the back of the line. You got to try again, right? So,
is combat instructor school? Is that what you guys called McKick, right?
Yes.
McKick.
Yeah.
Okay. Sorry, I didn't get that far. I mean, I did my 4 and I got out, and my first sergeant actually, first sergeant. What the hell was his name? First Sergeant Barnes. First Sergeant Flynn Barnes. And he held my re-enlistment paper until the very last day. And he asked me, he's like, Far, you want to re-enlist? I'm like, no, I don't, First Sergeant. See you later. And I turned in my CAT card, and I drove through those gates of Lejeune, and I said, see you later to the Driftwood. I'm going home.
Hey, and look where you're at now.
And look where I'm at now.
That's right.
Hey, Aubrey, who outranks who? You or your wife?
So she's ran 6. And I'm Wrenn 5. So by far, she's the CO and I'm the XO.
I'm
Right
the
on.
same. My Katrina is the admiral of my life.
Mhm.
So
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I mean, rank has no bearing in this house. So
sometimes
Yeah.
she acts like a PFC from time to time, and I have to put her back in her place. And the door is open, and she's probably listening to me right now, and I'm probably in deep shit right now.
you should ask CJ because his wife's a sergeant major.
Oh, hey CJ, what does the sergeant major actually do?
Yeah,
Hey,
he'll
think
tell
he's
you.
gonna answer?
She's Pearson 6 too. I don't care what he says. I know
Pearson
better.
6'2". That's kind of tight though.
Yeah,
It sounds better than Echo 4 Foxtrot. I'll tell you that.
yeah. I mean, 2 as well. Like she's Pearson 6. Yeah.
Echo 8 whiskey. Right?
So, Aubrey, are you a shellback?
No, I'm not.
He's
So
a
being that I was on the big deck,
he's a polywog.
Yeah.
yeah, I'm not.
We got to get him, man. We got to haze him.
Yeah.
So
I mean, it's a tradition. It's a tradition.
all the small deck, like the Austin and like some of the other small ships, they got to do all that stuff. They went to the Seychelles and hung out, and we did Gator Squares. So
Yeah.
She runs the MFN show.
I told you.
Good answer. Good
Yeah.
answer. Pearson 2-6.
Yeah.
Damn.
So, yeah.
Damn. To be
So
married to a sergeant.
I have to
That
ask
just
you a hard
blows my
question. Now,
mind.
you've been to
Okay.
3 combat deployments,
Mhm.
casualties. Did you have any casualties in those 3 tours?
Yeah, we did. I mean, there were the batteries that I was attached to. Now we only had one of my second deployment. We had 2 that were during that deployment, which was it was like I think it was in December, um, December 4th, 2005. Yeah, 2005 is when it was. We had a water truck come through at ECP that was packed full of explosives. It exploded, killed 2 Marines, Corporal Ben Lee, and then Corporal Wyatt. But yeah, those were the ones that I've been fortunate and blessed that that I guess those were the only 2 that I can speak to. But at any rate, a lot of the Marines and the units around us were definitely a lot less fortunate for all those deployments. But yeah.
Well, I like to I always like to hear these stories because we love to put them in our thoughts and prayers. That's why I ask. And so when people say thank you for your service, I always feel it very awkward because like how do you thank somebody who gave their life? You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
So for me, it's kind of tough to say thank you for your service, like because people are out there giving their lives. But I truly appreciate what their sacrifices and their. I mean, it's not just them. You know, when a Marine, sailor, airman, soldier dies in combat, man, it literally affects thousands and thousands of people. You know, there might be a child involved, definitely parents, brothers, siblings, and it's just terrible all the way around. Um, but I believe, like, I'm not going to speak for them, but I think they'd probably died doing what they love to do.
It's tough, man.
It is very tough. Like, I don't really have no words, but
No, we
when
lost.
people tell me thank you for my service, I'm just like, yeah, I was
used
a
to not
typical
like that.
sailor,
I
man.
used to not answer them back, actually. But now I just, I say,
Yeah.
you're welcome.
Yeah.
And I go on about my day. I mean, I used to not like that at all. I used to
Yeah.
hate
It's very
having them ask
awkward.
me that.
It's very awkward, especially like for me, because I was on a boat went to a bunch of freaking countries and drank beer and chased skirts.
Okay, yeah, but hey, you were on the ship that like filmed Top Gun. Okay,
Yeah.
that's kind of awesome, dude.
Yeah.
So it's interesting because I had this book. So somebody told me a long time ago, because I'm the same way, chaps. Like, it took me a while. Like, you don't know what to say, right?
Yes.
But I used to tell people, it was a more lengthy response. It would be like, hey, listen, you chose your profession the same way I chose mine. I knew fully well what choosing this profession could potentially mean. And I made that choice deliberately, right? So then you're like, yeah, what I always say is just, hey, thank you for your support. Because, that's something you can say in return, and it's heartfelt. And I do mean it, because even if people are saying it just because they feel obligated to, or they feel like, well, I should say something. Oh, thank you for your support, or thank you for your service. I'm like, well, thanks for your support. I appreciate that. It kind of helps.
No, that's perfect right there.
Yeah.
But I was in a really, really dark place, like, for a long time. And it took a lot of work, progress, not perfection. AA, Save a Warrior. I'm coming up on my 4-year sobriety, July 31st, and 4-year wedding anniversary, July 21st. So like, 10 days after I got married, I stopped drinking.
Congratulations, man.
Well, that was my second DUI was on that day too. And if you talk to her, we actually went over that story today.
Yeah.
And some new information come out about that day when I left the place where I was drinking, because I'm still not gonna say the last place I was drinking, because
I'll say it.
Nope, don't say it, man. Don't say it.
I'm not going to say it.
I lied to my lawyer. I lied to the judge. I wasn't going to tell him that. I didn't want to get that place, which, there's 3 letters that go with that place. And that's kind of a big hint. I didn't want them going after them. But it took me a long time to be happy. And I'm finally happy with myself. And I've got a great support system. I bought a house. Like 4 years ago, I had no inkling to buy a house or do, like, all I was trying to find was my next drink. That was it. And I drank a lot in the Marine Corps. I drank in high school. I drank in college. I'm a full-blown, grateful, recovering alcoholic. But you have helped me, Fleek, for starting.
Yeah.
You helped me. I mean, just by talking to you today and last week. I mean, I'm seeing God through you guys, and I'm feeling good about it. And that's what AA teaches you. You don't hear God. You see God through other people and their stories. Yeah. That's where you get the help.
Yeah, I've been super fortunate, and hopefully I don't get emotional, but this is one of the things that I know has kept me out of that deepest and darkest place, right? And kept me from being, a place where I couldn't pull myself back out of, minus, some significant life altering catastrophic event. I've had people that were there to, like, snatch me up by my stack and swivel and be like, hey, what are you doing? What's up? What's going on? Or, people show up out of nowhere when you don't even expect them to like, you're not even looking for anybody. You just know you're in a really dark place. And then, like, boom, out of nowhere, you're just like, hey. And then you're like, so I'm talking about my wife in this instance, was not even thinking anything about looking for, going through a divorce, and, like, completely overwhelmed with what all that entails, but, like, super dedicated and driven and, like, focused at being successful at this one thing, because that's the thing that kept you busy, and, like, you could focus all your stuff on that, but your non-professional life was going to shit. And then I've had other mentors, CJ Pearson, like I said, he's been my first sergeant for twice now, but he has been, people say you got to have 5. You have to have, you should have 5 people that no matter what's going on,
Yeah.
you can call
always
any of
call
those
them,
5
yeah.
at any time and say, "Hey, I got this," and they will talk to you.
Yeah, for sure.
Sean Taylor, CJ Pearson, Earl Budd, I have my 5, and right now I can tell you that without a doubt they're always been there, no matter what it is. But Ashley is by far she's the rock, she's my unicorn. Yeah, she
I
did.
tried to get at him multiple times, and this man was oblivious.
Because I was somewhere else. Like I wasn't in that headspace. Like I had no idea. I was like, I don't know.
I see it.
You
So I tell my wife all the time, and obviously I've been out of the Navy for
And
3 decades.
a
So
long time,
three
a
decades.
long time, Blake.
I tell my wife all the time, if something happens to me, you know who to call. And I could call any one of my shipmates right now. I could get them on the phone right now while I'm on the air, and I promise you, I will bet you $100 they answer the phone when I call. But I could call one of my civilian friends that had never served, and probably almost guaranteed I'll go to their voicemail.
Interesting story. So this past November 10th, because I told you guys I was retiring, and there's a whole backstory to that. And for whatever reason, I had it was like, this is my last Marine Corps birthday as an active duty Marine. And this is how it's going down. Right. And like, I fell apart, like completely unexpected. Right. I didn't see it. Like we're doing bath time with our girls, and I'm just like, it hit me, and I'm just like, I went dark fast. And my wife, she calls Earl Budd up, and he shows up to my house.
Hell yeah.
That drove from his house out in Fallbrook. It's like a 30-minute drive. And I was like, he texted me. He's like, "What's up? What's going on?" I'm like, "I'm good. I'm straight." I'm like, I started talking to him and told him, "Hey, look, this is what's going on. Like, this is bullshit." And he's like, "I'm coming over." I was like, "Man, you ain't got to do that. This is like 10 o'clock at night."
Yeah.
And he came to my house and stayed there for like 2 hours and sat on my back porch, and we just talked.
Yep.
And I'm super blessed. That's the type of people talk about it. People say, "Hey, let me know if you ever need anything," or "Hey, look, man, I'm here for you. If you ever feel like, trust me." I'm so blessed, right? And the only reason why, because I was in California, and CJ, he's in North Carolina, Sean's in Louisiana, or I'm sorry, Mississippi, but he didn't even there was no absolutely, because that's who he is. So I'm blessed in that aspect.
That's a good.
I hear you.
Good support, man. It really is.
I've told this story before many times on this show, but in 1997, my mom passed away from cancer. It was a horrible, horrible year. She was in the hospital from January to January. Terrible, just withered away to nothing. She passed away. The night she passed away, I called one of my shipmates up, Taco, who was on our show a couple of weeks ago. He lived in Chicago. I lived in Detroit, and my mom passed away January 14th of 1997. It was the worst snowstorm in the history for as long as I ever lived in Michigan. I've never seen snow this bad. It snowed for days and days and days. And I called him up, and as soon as he answered the phone, he's like, "What's the matter?" Because he could hear in my voice there was something wrong. And I told him, my mom just passed away, blah, blah. And we talked for about an hour. He hung up. 2 days later, I was at my mom's casket at and it was still snowing. It was horrendous. It just snowed for days and days. I was at the casket with my wife, and I were standing at my mom's casket, and my wife whispers in my ear, Taco and his wife just walked in the door. He lived in Chicago, and he just had a newborn baby. I turned and I looked at the door. I walked over to him and I said, literally, I swear to God, my exact words out of my mouth were, "What the fuck are you doing here?" And his words right back to me were, "You called me."
Yeah.
That was
Hey, you guys, that's why that's our tribe, man. I mean,
yeah, it's
when we're in
amazing.
trouble, you know, first sergeant said there's only 5 people, and I've got my
Yeah.
5.
Yeah, he's definitely
And
one of my 5. But that's what I do. That's why I started this. This is what I do. Like, it doesn't have to be my 5. If I guarantee you, if any one of you guys that are listening right now, CJ Pearson, call me. If you ever need anything, call me. I promise you, I'm going to answer your phone call. I promise you that.
On a lighter note too, I do. So was it last week? One of my guys, we were combat instructors together, and I pinned him to staff sergeant with another guy. And so his wife reaches out to me on Messenger, and she's like, "Hey, Buck's getting promoted to mass sergeant on Friday." And he's in Quantico, and I'm in Jacksonville, North Carolina. And the guy that was supposed to come do it can't because he has a family emergency, but he doesn't want to ask you because he knows you're in Jacksonville and you have a family and you guys got small kids and all this other stuff. And he doesn't want to ask you because he doesn't want to inconvenience you. But I know he would really love for you to be here. And I was like, tell me when and where, and I'll be there.
Right. Yeah.
And I showed up Friday or Thursday night. I drove from here Thursday after like all calls and stuff like that. Drove to Quantico, got there at like 10 o'clock, a little after 10, and showed up at his door, and he had no idea what was coming. The next morning, went to the Marine Corps Museum, pinned him. A couple hours later, got back in my truck and drove back here. I wouldn't have missed it for the world. If there was any way I could have been there, I was going to be there. And it doesn't have to be like times in crisis, it's things like that. But the point is that, and anybody can tell you, I've had conversations with Chris Whitman. He's another sergeant major up in Cherry Point, but he and I worked together at combat instructor school too. And I saw him the other night, and I said, this past 18 months has been the worst that I can remember for either guys that I deployed with, worked with directly for suicide. I can't count them all on both hands. It's that many, right? And it's the little stuff. Everybody's like, oh, you got to check on your buddies, That's one thing, right? But when good things happen, making an effort and doing what you can do to be there to support you. Because what that does, I think that reminds them that there are a lot of people that still care and remember and they are important to them. CJ, I was just talking to him yesterday, stopped by his house, and he's like, I got this retirement ceremony or this change of command. And he's been retired for months. And he's still showing up and going to these things.
Yeah.
Because he gets it. He understands it's very significant. It's a very important thing. He's getting back in a uniform later on this year too, because one of his guys that he worked with when he was a sergeant major, and he's graduating Ranger school, and he wants him to tab him. And I'm like, that's huge.
That's awesome.
I mean, right now he's got a beard, he's out there doing yard work like retired sergeant majors do. But he's like, I'm going to get back in uniform and I'm going to go to Benning and, do the deed. And I'm like, that's inspiring because that lets, I already know who he is, but it's the good things too. It's the positive.
Oh yeah. Yes.
It's great. I actually, and I've got a little story. This is post Marine Corps, but people, when you are taking care of yourself, RLTW.
I think some Ranger stuff, man.
I don't know what that.
Ranger.
I don't know what that.
Rangers lead the way.
God.
There you go. Yes.
Shut up, Joey. Come
Joey's
on,
a
man.
Ranger, so I knew it had something to do with the Ranger.
Yeah.
Joey, I'll see you July 7th for the AMVETS meeting. Damn, man. No, right in the middle of my story. But no, I went to Murfreesboro Medical Center for a little procedure, and it was nothing. And I said I was there, and I had like 187 people like making sure that I was okay. It was, thank you, Joey. I got it. We got it, Joey. Got it, buddy. Man. But yeah, it's just, we've got people that care about us, and we know that people care about you. I care about you guys. People care about us. Like, we have a really good support system. And so there's no reason, if you are feeling bad or in a dark place, pick up the phone, call someone,
Yeah.
call me, call Fleet, call Aubrey, call
Yeah. I promise you I'll
freaking
answer.
Gunny Sabins. Call God, please call Gunny Sabins, and maybe he'll return your call. Hint, hint, wink, wink. I called him
Damn,
a couple
Gunny.
months ago. Not even a return call, but it's okay. I knew he was going to get back to me. He's a busy, busy man.
Yeah. So,
Yeah, you're right. And I think here's what I'll tell you about that, though, right? We are very stubborn individuals, and we
Yeah.
hate inconveniencing other people.
That is true.
And sometimes, it takes someone else to be like, I'm calling this person. Or you get a mysterious text. Hey, man, how are you doing? I'm just checking in on you. You gotta, here's what I tell people. If you're going to check in on people, you need to be ready for what comes back. Because it may be nothing, but it may be a lot.
Exactly.
And you need to be ready to receive whatever it is. Right. So if you're not in that mindset, and if you're not doing it from a very genuine place, Ratliff, you're my man. A lot of people check in on me a lot. But you got to be ready. Right. So.
yes. Yep. A few years back, Tony Ortiz, Chaps has met my shipmate Tony Ortiz. He
Our
retired.
fellow VFW member, Mr. Ortiz, who's going to pay on time for his dues. So
Tony,
I'm very
pay your
happy about
dues.
that. Tony, pay your dues. And Chief Freeman, pay your dues.
Tony retired from the Navy as a Chief Petty Officer. And so back when I got out of the Navy, social media wasn't around. So when I left, if you didn't have somebody's phone number,
It wasn't?
dude, I was out. I got out of active duty in 1988.
Dude, I was 11 when you got out of active duty. I was 11 years old.
Yeah. So years later, I got hooked up with Tony through Facebook, and he was like, "Hey, Fleek, I'm retiring in like 6 months." And I'm like, where are you retiring out of? Like, what the hell? I thought you got out when I got out. He actually retired out of Virginia Beach. So myself and two of my kids drove from Detroit to Virginia Beach, was at his retirement ceremony, turned around and came back. So yes, it's not all about the negative stuff. Be there for the positive stuff too, because it goes a long way.
It's a two-way street, man. Just like
It
a
is.
marriage.
Just
like a marriage.
Just answer the damn phone.
Yeah. See, that'll give me, hopefully Katrina will see that, and that'll give me points. So no, I love you, Katrina. Whether if you're watching or not, you're probably not.
Probably not. 22 veterans every single day commit suicide, and it needs to stop. That's what we're here for. It's going to stop.
It is going to stop.
It will stop.
We will save people, man. We will save people. Proven valor professionals saves people.
Yes.
With what they do. And they do amazing work. They are on social media like every hour of the day. Like every time I'm checking, I'm like, damn, another LinkedIn post of Proven Valor. I'm like, they're like, spot on when it comes to posting.
Well,
I'm like, damn.
You haven't seen nothing yet. You're going to be seeing our nonprofit here.
I can't wait. It's another thing that I get to promote. And I love promoting the good stuff that we're doing. And first
we're gonna do it.
You're not going to have a retirement ceremony. Damn. Well, maybe
you should.
August, well, you should.
Damn it, you should.
Damn it, you should. But maybe I got to be in Virginia in August. Maybe we can hook up for lunch or something like that on my way to Alexandria. Like, I don't know how the GPS is going to take me, but we'll meet up for lunch and you get to meet my lovely wife, hopefully.
Yeah. Hit me up, man. We'll see what we can't work out.
Where you're in? You said Danville, right, Virginia?
No, I'm from Danville, but I'm in Jacksonville because my wife's stationed at Camp Johnson.
Oh, okay. Oh, that's right.
Yep.
I need to go visit that PX over at Camp Lejeune, man. I haven't been in about 3 years. I need to go visit.
Yeah, it's huge.
You guys.
Does your wife want you to have a retirement ceremony?
No.
She's not saying one way or the other. You gotta have a retirement ceremony, man. Come on.
He's being very stoic.
Listen,
right now.
I'll tell you, there's other people that have said like you got to do something, right? So I I got time. I could,
Dude,
but,
I'll bring a cake, man, and I'll get my old NCO sword. We'll have a cake cutting ceremony, just you and me. And no shit, I'll kidnap Fleek, and all three of us will have. Ah, that's so
She's not, hey,
nice.
well, she's not helping us at all.
Hoorah, Gunny. Good answer, Gunny.
Yeah, she's my ride or die.
Hey, First Sergeant, is there a freeway that goes through Camp Lejeune? Like you go through the main gate, and then there's like those two overpasses, right?
No, I mean 17 runs north and south, but anything goes through Camp Lejeune.
Okay, because when I was in, I don't remember them having those roads when you're going through the gate, the main gate, and then you're going towards. Oh, except whenever he tells me no. Okay. Gunny has spoken. I'll heed Gunny's words.
So
and see, the dog is saying that. The dog is agreeing. I just heard that bark.
That's my dog.
Yeah, Briggs is saying yes.
He does not like fireworks, and it's 4th of July.
Yeah,
at dusk, so he's freaking out right now.
Yeah, First Sergeant, you got fireworks tonight?
There are people doing it out here, but we're in an apartment complex right now until our house gets done being built. So
okay.
Technically, you're not supposed to shoot fireworks in the complex, but I'm sure somebody's probably gonna pop something off.
Oh yeah, definitely. So, you're having a house built right now?
Yep. It'll actually be right up the street from CJ when it's done.
In Tarwood Terrace? Is that where you're gonna live? Tarwood Terrace?
No, it's Southwest Plantation. Yeah, I got some real cheap real estate out there for sale if you're looking to buy.
Dude, I lived on CT2, man, for like a year, and I
It's
swear,
nice now.
Yeah, well, dude, the house had never been lived in. My first wife, and we would get let go at like 6:30 at night. Okay, 18:30. It took me 2 hours to go 2 miles to my house. It was the most like I was there at 4:30 in the morning to 18:30 every night, and when they let us go, all that traffic, it was just a pain in the ass. It was like the bane of my existence. Like I wouldn't get home till like 10. I'm like, I can't even watch TV. I've got to go right to bed because I got to get up at 4:30 in the morning to write these damn reports because I was a training NCO and a police sergeant. Thank you, XO, for that, by the way. And I'm not going to shout out his name, but he knows who he is. Davey B. H. And I'm not going to give the last name. Damn it, Lieutenant.
Would you stop spitting on the show?
I'm sorry, man. I'm dipping. Hey, First Sergeant's dipping. I'm just.
Not me.
Why you gotta throw the First Sergeant under the bus, man?
I
didn't think I was. Yeah, I did. Hey, First Sergeant, you can haze me later, man. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to throw you under the bus.
Oh, there he goes again.
I'm sorry, man. Dude, I'm chewing tobacco.
Hey, it's your show, man. Hey.
Yeah. Hey, if you're gonna NJP me, Fleek, just let's get it over with, man.
So
like, First Sergeant will write out the papers, and he needs his signature and yours, and we'll have like a captain's mask. We'll have fun. I've never had one of those before. Have you ever had a captain's mask, First Sergeant?
No.
You don't want to. It's not
Dude,
pleasant.
okay. Fleek, explain. What is that? What's a captain's mask? Is it just like a court martial? Is a NJP?
Well, it's not really. No, it's like going in front of the judge. Like if you get in trouble, you go in front. You go to captain's mask instead of a judge. You go in front of the skipper, and he determines what your punishment is. So I personally have never been there for NJP or anything, but I was there for a witness because one of my shipmates stole something out of the berthing area, and I just so happened to see him do it.
Article 121.
So I have no idea, but like it was very unpleasant, man. The skipper was not happy, and like I'm like, what are you freaking yelling at me for, man? I just saw the guy do it. I didn't do it.
It's essentially the same procedures, but yeah.
Do you know what I think? First Sergeant, you can tell me if I'm wrong, but First Sergeants usually like attaching Article 134 to pretty much everything. Is that true?
No, not so much. Well, no, I would say no. In my experience, I will tell you.
That's a joke. I'm sorry, it's a joke.
No. Because everybody thinks, oh, it's a general article. The real catch-22 is Article 92.
Ooh, I know that one too, and I've
Yeah.
never done it, but I know that one. I've read it somewhere.
What's Article 92?
Failure to obey an order or regulation.
Yeah, I pretty
But
much.
then
pretty
89
much
and
hit somebody-
91 are
anybody with
pretty
that.
good too. So
Yeah. Yep.
you've never gotten NJP First Sergeant ever?
No.
Ever?
Ever.
Ever? In your 21 plus years?
Nope.
Damn, how many good cookies do you have? You see, you probably have 5 good cookies, right?
I don't do math in public, man.
Good to go. Good to go. Oh man, this has been fun. This has been really fun. You're a blast, First Sergeant. You really are.
I appreciate it, man. I feel like we probably hadn't got a whole lot of dirt, but like I said,
No, hey, we heard you told some fleet stories. You told us about yourself and where you're going and what you're doing, and what you're doing for proven valor is amazing.
I'm really excited about that. That's trust me.
And what you're about to do for Fleek and us with this nonprofit and taking it to the stratosphere.
Yeah, we're gonna. Huge. I feel like we're gonna do good things. My goal is to so the nonprofit is Minutes Wisely. So just break it down real quick. I have 2 podcasts. I have TSP, the Scuttlebutt, and then I also have the Nosebleeds Report, where me and some of my friends talk sports on Sunday morning. And so what I do with the money that comes out of Nosebleeds Report is I support youth sports. So I have we're sponsoring a little league team, but one of my co-hosts on that podcast, he has a special needs brother that absolutely loves baseball. So I told him, like, I wanted to send him and his brother to a baseball game that is a home opener. Like, ask your special needs brother whatever baseball game he would love to go to for a home opener, or like the season opener, opening day. What game would you want to go to? And so he went back and he asked his brother, and he said the Chicago Cubs. So I said, well, I have about 6 months to do fundraising to send you and your brother to. So I already committed. Like, I'm sending you and your brother to Chicago Cubs game next year for the season opener. And when I was after I said that, I was thinking, I was like, man, that's a pretty good idea, actually. Like, if I could send veterans and first responders to sporting events, but not just send them to the event, but also send a mentor with him, so he has somebody to sit with, somebody to talk to during the whole thing. So it's not really just you're there at a sporting event, but you're opening up your heart. You're like, if you got any issues, you're talking to them.
Yeah.
And not only we're gonna pay for the sporting event, but we're gonna pay for your parking. We might pay for your dinner, whatever we can do. We're gonna help you support that day. You and say it's like I use this Charlotte, and like somebody wants to go to Aubrey knows somebody in his area wants to go to a Panthers game. So, all right, cool. We're going to send him, and then Aubrey can go with him. Maybe Aubrey and his wife, they go, they mentor this guy, they talk. It's a stress-free night, man. You know what I'm saying? Like, one night could change somebody's life.
Yep.
Just having somebody there that in a group of thousands of people that speaks the same language and at least understands that this is it's just a good opportunity just to have fun and like relax a little bit.
Yeah.
And it's hard for people to do that with some experiences and life experiences, to do that in those types of environments. And it's really helpful to have someone who they at least somewhat, can trust or rely on to be there for them, to help calm them a little bit. Right.
Yes, sorry. It's like Camp Lejeune right now, man. Holy moly. It's like those cannons are going off.
Yeah.
It's it's like the sky it's dark, but it's bright.
That's what you got to do.
But I do miss that. That's what I do miss Camp Lejeune the most, is listening to the helicopters and you guys shooting off your cannons. Like, that would put me to sleep at Tarwood Terrace too, all the time.
I wouldn't put me to sleep, but I mean, I've slept through it. I would tell you this though. So in Charlotte, the Coca-Cola 600, like the races at the Charlotte Motor Speedway, they do really good things for like the Memorial Day race for the Coca-Cola 600 and some of the other races around there too. Like they make a big, like I've had opportunity working with when I was at SOI, Mr. Dave Ward, who is a member of the Marine Corps League there in Charlotte. He has pulled so many different things and able to source so much stuff for veterans and Marines. Actually provided the opportunity for myself and some other combat instructors to go to Coca-Cola 600 to drive the trucks for driver announcements around the racetrack. I mean, it's phenomenal. There are lots of people out there that I'm telling you that would love to. I'm not saying he would. I'm not going to speak for him, but I can tell you that there are people in that space, especially now that the COVID restrictions are a lot looser and lightened up. They are eager to find ways to support causes like ours. So
that's cool.
Yeah, that's awesome. Yeah.
Hey, Fleek,
Yes.
I might have to go and hug my dogs because they're
freaking out.
They're starting to freak out a little bit. I mean, I'm not, but they're starting to freak out.
Yeah, you good? All right. Well, we will talk soon.
Okay.
Let's get together in the next 2 weeks, and the three of us with Jeffrey and David, let's all get together and talk and see what we can do.
Okay.
My ultimate goal is to send somebody to like a Super Bowl or World Series, and that would be legit, man. I can send a
Stanley Cup, man. Stanley Cup.
Yeah.
We gotta add the Stanley Cup.
Stanley Cup
hockey fans.
Yeah. Stanley Cup and World Series is a little different because it's dependent on your team.
Oh, really?
The Super Bowl is
Go Bruins.
It's a set
all the
place. Yeah, we ain't sending nobody to the Bruins. So
oh, come on, man. Really? Ray Bork, Kenny Linsman, Bobby Orr. I mean, the greatest hockey player ever.
Okay.
I'm sorry. I'm going to say it. Bobby Orr, the greatest hockey player
you do remember
in the entire world.
You do remember where I'm from, right?
Yeah, and who do you like? Gordie
Howe? You ever hear Gordie Howe?
Gordie Howe, number 9.
Yeah. I have no idea who any of you are talking about right now.
Dude, hey, I'm sorry. I played hockey for 16 years.
Yeah.
I met Bobby Orr. All right. I met him on an airplane, and I was like 7, and I'm like drooling and meeting this guy, and I'm like, this is the man. I mean, this guy, they played hockey with no helmets, no cups, when hockey was for like men.
The men of men.
Men of men.
So
awesome show. Good night, gentlemen. Hey, good night, Pearson 26.
Yeah, my goal is to have season tickets, not necessarily full season tickets for the Predators.
Titans.
Get some Titans. Get Titans tickets, get Panthers tickets, get Detroit tickets. My point is, I don't want to just focus here in Middle Tennessee. I want this reach to be far and wide. If we can get somebody out there and like the name of the game is saving lives. And I've said this since day one. We're saving souls every single episode here.
Amen.
And I believe it, and I think we can do it, and it's in my heart. I'm not going to stop. We're going to send some veterans, and we're going to open it up, not just to veterans, first responders, and youths, because I have the other podcast. Veterans, first responders, the Utes. We're going to do it, man. We're going to do it, and I'm going to reach out to Proven Valor. I asked Aubrey to be my VP of the nonprofit, which is, I was going to say this earlier, it's the nonprofit's name is Minutes Wisely, and where I get the name Minutes Wisely from is one of my favorite quotes that I heard years ago. It's minutes are worth more than money, so spend your minutes wisely. And I think that just fits in perfectly. It fits in perfectly what we're doing. Spend your minutes wisely, and that's our goal.
That's very stoic. And that's very nice.
So let's get together in the next couple of weeks, and we'll put something together. Obviously, we need to do some fundraising to achieve. Sporting events are not free, so we need to do some fundraising. And that's where Chaps comes in. He's the fundraising guru.
Oh, Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Put it all on me. Throw me under the bus.
I'm
Okay.
not putting it all on you. It's a team. It's a team effort. We just need ideas. I have no problem doing
And we need
whatever
a
you
first
guys.
sergeant to help us with everything else.
I think the
because
first sergeant's going to come in huge because he knows everybody in the Marine Corps.
He does. He does. He does.
I don't know everybody, but I know a couple people.
Well,
I
CJ
know, you know a
Pearson
lot.
obviously knows everybody in the Marine
Yeah.
Corps because he
So-
knows my kill hat, which is weird.
Yeah, it's like the what is it? The 7 levels of Kevin Bacon or whatever that is.
Oh,
the 7 layers.
7
or
degrees.
7
degrees.
degrees of Kevin
Yeah.
Bacon.
So I guarantee you, 7 degrees of the Marine Corps and Aubrey. You know everybody.
Hey, you know what? I just remember the
That might
7
be
Ps,
true.
man.
I guarantee that's true.
I know First Sergeant knows the 7 Ps. Prior proper planning prevents piss poor performance.
Yep.
Hey,
All right.
First Sergeant,
All right.
really good talking to you, man.
Yeah, it's good
Thank
talking
you,
to you.
gentlemen.
We're at an
I
hour and a
appreciate
half,
it.
so we got to shut her down.
Commander Fleek.
But until next time.
Yep.
Happy 4th of July.
Happy
1
Treason
year
Day.
anniversary. Happy 1 year anniversary to TSP. We're killing it. We're doing it. See you guys next time.
All right.
Thank
See you
you.
guys.